Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 26, featuring the Chicago White Sox. It's opening day, and we have a very different lineup than past years. We do have some old friends here. I don't want to make it sound like it's all new. Alberto Maini is our new first baseman. He's played third base for us last couple of seasons. We're letting him shift over to first. Bill Shiflett reprises an excellent rookie season, and hopefully he can build upon it and be even more effective. Atsuji Ito returns for yet another year to show us what he's capable of. Danny Rios is the new cleanup hitter. Again, another guy with not a huge amount of experience, but with a big amount of success. And Garrett Kozich, who has rapidly become the old man of the White Sox, having now played for us for 4 consecutive seasons. Let me get to the new guys. First, Herb Berry. It is about time that Herb Berry has a big role on this club. He has the same kind of dynamic profile that Ito enjoys. Except he's also really good defensively, so Berry has learned everything he can possibly learn in the minor leagues. Not the time for him to transform that into major league production. Dan Halpern is another new player for us, albeit a temporary one. Josh Gibbs is injured. Once he returns, Halpern probably either shifts to being a utility guy, but for now, he's an acceptable shortstop. And then Yogi Bautista and Kyle Teal are both old friends. Pitching staff, we have another new name in Chris Waters, another one of our outstanding youngsters that's looking for a bigger role in the major leagues. And that's a role we hope he can deliver upon, because we've needed a great young pitcher since Jaden Charles came out of our minor league system. And we're hoping that he can be that guy. Adam Jones was here last year, so is Josh Vantine, so is Brian Williams. The bullpen is mostly the same with a couple of additions, one of them being Bill Gerling, our other rookie in a somewhat important position. Enrique Castillo has some major league experience, but is going to be getting some more. John Crank is being used as a longman. And finally, Noah Schultz. By far the longest tenured White Sox, is back for one more season. Definitely his last. Because I just don't have money for him. Our number one biggest concern is this guy right here. Do we opt out of his contract at the end of the year, or do we keep him around for one more year and see what happens? He's very high financial ambition, which means he's unlikely to see his money drop. Or do we just trust Herb Berry that much? We're just going to tell Herb, go for it, buddy. We believe in you. I don't know what the answer to that is. On our bench, we've got a few new names. Sean Gamble is here. Sean Gamble is somebody we acquired in free agency. He's got leadership up the wazoo. He plays several positions with a lot of success. He's a nice little piece here. We also have Jonathan Holstrom coming back for another season. We have Tobias Kubek, hopefully getting a slightly larger role than he had previously. But everyone is being used. Sean Henry is another new player for us. This is the catcher we acquired through trade, and I actually have really high hopes for him. At a bare minimum, he is a significantly better backup, but Kyle Teal is aging. He's not the same player he used to be, and keeping him around for a long time seems probably detrimental. I've got other young catchers in my system that I'm really interested in seeing them perform, but they're all kind of far away from the major leagues. So that's kind of where we are right now. Don't sleep on Nick Gummieni. One of our trade acquisitions from the off season. Um, he's got a ton of upside, and would be a nice fixture in the rotation if he had the opportunity. We've got talent for days. It's now a question of turning that talent into production and getting us to be the best team we can possibly be. Also, Phil Schultzhauer was another player that we acquired in free agency, or through trade rather. We're going to let him play in Double A with the intention of calling him up once the spot opens. So, the Garrett Kozich trades, we also gave him a contract extension to something very reasonable. As long as he's able to perform at a high level as the strong side of a platoon, I have no problem with keeping him around. That's pretty solid. Let's play some baseball, guys. Jason Miller can come off the IL. I do want him to get some meaningful playing time this year, but not right now. I'd like him to be a starter, if possible. Kevin Davis is somebody I'm a little bit more interested in giving some more reps to. He had a pretty good year last year. I think Ken Van Duzer probably just goes back home at this point. I don't really feel any particular need to keep him around. Unless there's somebody else that's more useful to demote, maybe, like Enrique Castillo, perhaps. I feel like Van Duzer's the one we say goodbye to, probably. Yeah, let's do that. Let's tell him goodbye. Because Kevin Davis has a much brighter future for us. And this way we have a nice rock in the bullpen who can help us out. Alright guys, let's keep it coming. I can't help but notice that Garrett Kozich got 5 hits in a day. Including 2 homers and a double. This is good shit, guys. That's really good shit. Look at JoJo Tillman kind of pushing himself up the list a little bit. Angel Reyes is getting better. Steve Mace is getting better. Jay Brown is getting better. This is a problem. Maybe if he plays third base, I'll find a home for him, but for right now, he's not a second baseman for sure. Mike Braden came back. I'm the guy that subs for Ito for, 30, 40 games, has returned. Nice. Ryan Jaster, you were my 10th round pick, so if you're starting to lose a little bit of potential, I don't necessarily mind that. Obviously can't trust on these numbers yet, but we're off to a pretty solid start. Ito's actually the most disappointing White Sox so far, so hopefully he's able to heat up a little bit. We're just gonna take these numbers with several pounds of salt and move through the month of April. Josh Gibbs is going to come back quickly. I'm pretty happy about that. Do we care about a suspension? Oh, it's Mr. Tibbs. Nice. Ivan Orozco is ready to come back to the majors. Let's send him back to the minors. I don't feel any particular compelling reason to keep him in the majors. Ito's going to miss 3 weeks. It really only affects his base running. Play through it. We're reasonably warm to start the season, so I don't want to disrupt that. Dan Halpern is struggling. This doesn't surprise me. Um, I think Halpern is just naturally a better second baseman. I'm gonna go ahead and send him back to the minors, and we're gonna reactivate Gibbs. And then Mr. Gibbs here is going to be assigned to the 7th spot in our batting lineup. There you go. I like that he might be playing all around the diamond. That's actually really interesting to me. He's not a great shortstop backup, but he's probably better than Gamble. That's not true at all. Gamble is a far better shortstop backup. So we're going to swap those two guys. All right. 200 from Michael Travis. Okay. Joel Biddle finally got himself a major league role. And I think they just cut him. Oh, the free agents cut him. Yeah, that makes sense. AL's top player is Bill Shiflett. Nice. At least for that week. Alright, early impressions. I'm not going to say that we're back, but I am going to say that we are in very good shape. Jaden Charles losing movement does concern me quite a bit. I don't need him to age prematurely, but that might be the path he's going on. Herb Berry looks amazing. Bill Shiflett's gotten better too. Holstrom and Rios both look better. Orozco's getting better. Miller's getting better. Miller getting control up to 50 is massive. This makes you a very strong candidate to start at some point at the very near future. Nothing else too thrilling has happened here. Keith Soulier is losing his abilities, which is a shame because it's a second round pick. Okay. Yeah, Jason Miller improving his control even a little bit was so important for him. He's certainly not dominating AAA, so I think I'm going to let him pitch a little bit longer, but I think he's on the very short list to be called up. Alex Mendez finally made the major leagues with the team consistently, and he's had a great month. Good for him. Good for you, buddy. Third run score, third runs against seems pretty solid. This is really concerning to me about Jaden Charles here. He's giving up home runs, and that is not a great look for him. An awful lot of our hopes are riding on his left arm. If he has decided that giving up home runs is something he should be doing, that significantly reduces his value to us. Has he never had a four-seam fastball, or did he lose it? I never noticed that before. That is so interesting to me. I mean, that cutter is awesome. So not having a four-seam fastball is no big deal, but hopefully he figures it out. This is really unusual for him. His BABIP is quite a bit higher than it's been in the past, so I think he'll figure it out. You know, Chris Waters is off to a pretty good major league start. He's certainly not flawless, but he is pitching quite effectively. He's striking out people at a good clip. He's not getting hit very hard. He's walking more than I'd like, but that's something we kind of expected. Walks are going to be a problem for him. It's a question of what does he do when he's not walking people. And so far, at least, I like what I'm seeing here. Adam Jones, Josh Fantine, and Brian Williams were all having good seasons start the year off with. I don't know why his WAR is so low, unless it's the fact he's a low strikeout pitcher. Maybe that's it. I don't know, but I'll take it as long as I can. Hitting wise, we're getting a lot of production up and down the lineup. Herb Berry isn't a super outstanding hitter yet, but I think he'll get better with time. He is getting on base really effectively. He's just not driving balls yet. That'll come with time. He is also playing a very solid third base, which makes me pretty happy. A world in which Danny Rios hits around 300 is a world in which he is crazy good. I guess if I had to complain about him, it's that he's giving some runs back because he's playing pretty poor outfield. But Bill Shiflett is a crucial piece to this team's ability to hit. So I don't think it really makes sense for me to pull him out of the field, you know? Yeah, I'm pretty chuffed. I'm pretty happy with how we're playing so far. We're just going to go ahead and just keep the vibes going. Yeah. We're losing Gibbs for 8 weeks again. This is becoming a problem. Why can't I put him in a 60-day IL? I don't know. Is Halpern hurt? I think he is. Maybe? No. What do we do with Halpern? Do you cut him? Or did he just, like, completely suck now? No, he's right there. I'm just blind. How's Schultzauer handling AAA? Not well. Let's give him time. Yeah, I don't trust Jay Brown at shortstop, so that's a problem. I don't trust Hussein at shortstop. I don't really love Halpern at shortstop, but I can accept it. Is there a better shortstop option? Mauricio Lopez can only play first and second. That's not helpful. All right, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna save ourselves some time here. Tell me all of the shortstops. Montez as a shortstop doesn't work for me. Evan Conway as a shortstop doesn't work for me. I don't have any great defensive shortstops. This is probably something I should fix in the near future, but for now it means the best choice is Halpern. So Halpern it shall be. That's a real bummer, actually. I didn't realize how poorly off we are at shortstop. Like, I could make Barry play short, and then maybe move, like, Maini over to third, instead of Halpern. Maybe that's the path forward. Maybe that is the path forward. I'd love to open up DH for Rios. I think that would be a very good move for us. And Shiflett is a fantastic first baseman. So let's try that. Then all I need to do is I just need to find a new third baseman, which is probably Maini. So what I can do then is I can call up, because I could still call up Halpern and just not play him. That's true. That's a true statement. Yeah, he's still probably the best utility guy unless it's Jay Brown. Hmm. Nah, we'll keep Halpern up. I'm just not going to start him. So Herb Berry's going to play shortstop. Miney shifts to third. Shiflet plays first. Rios DHs. And then I need an outfielder. So I guess actually I don't want Halpern. Sorry, buddy. We're going to call up Schultzauer. And we're going to let Schultzauer play right field for us. I could also need to give more reps to Kubek, I guess. Yeah, Kubek, why don't you try right field against left-handed pitching? Oh, Jonathan Holstrom is playing, and he's actually playing very, very well. So then, what position am I missing? I'm missing left field. Yeah, Holstrom, shift to left, please. And Shiflet will play first. Sorry. So Kubek's going to play right field there, and then Mr. Schultzauer. Actually, Schultzauer's also better against lefties. Then maybe it's not Schultzauer. Who else do I have as an outfielder? Jason Ransom also is a righty. Wow, really? I don't have any decent left-handed hitting outfielders. That's kind of wild, actually. Edwin Hernandez may only be 21, but he's playing AA quite effectively. Let's get him up to AAA. I think we bring back Jason Ransom. Maybe. What if I just played Holstrom every day? Damn. I do not have good offensive outfielders that don't hit right-handed. Um, I think I maybe just play Holstrom for now. And just bat him lower in the lineup. And then I think we will call up Schultzauer. No, I've got 5 outfielders. We're going to use Halpern. Sorry, guys. I keep changing my mind. There we go. Halpern can back up at third. Halpern can back up at first. That's fine. Backing up in right field is now going to be Kosic. That seems good. Okay. All right. Jason Ransom is finally hitting well in the minor leagues, which he hadn't done for me in a while. Maybe this is his path back to the majors. I think he's still a very viable hitter. He just needs to be a little bit more consistent. I do need to find myself some left-handed hitting outfield prospects. I think that's kind of important because right now I just don't have any at all in my system. So let's take a moment and look for those. I want players. I want hitters. Bats, we'll say left is fine. Plays the outfield, at least a 50 potential. This is surprisingly difficult. Okay. I will never get any of these players. I might get Steve Richards. If I ask nicely, Steve Richards might become. Steve Richards will look pretty nice in a White Sox uniform. Can I get greedy? Is there a better player? Maybe. I could get switch hitters too. Actually, I don't need to. I don't need to overpay. Just because he's a lefty. Yes, which gives me Holstrom and Kozic. Ochoa's not very good. I'd never get Willie Vigil. Like, that's just not going to happen. Okay, maybe I should go back to the lefties only. I can ask about Richards. Maybe it won't actually be that challenging. Wow, really? Steve Richards is the greatest player in human history? I will... Forgive me for ever asking you. I probably need to look for, like, a veteran type, maybe. Remember we had Jorge Marquez, and we're like, oh, we'll never find a spot for him. It seems like I probably made a goof there. Castillo's only missing 2 weeks. I mean, it does affect his ability to throw, but like you gotta learn how to play through injuries, right? That's an important part of becoming a baseball player. If you're becoming a good one. I never see like the big single game thing here. My players apparently just don't do that stuff. They like to spread out their contributions over multiple games, which I guess is fine. I guess that's a reasonable take. All right, personal. Waters is getting slightly better, as is Vantine. Charles is getting worse. That's really unfortunate. The goal wasn't, oh, we're gonna find a number 2 pitcher and then lose the ace, the highly compensated ace. But something is clearly wrong with him. Um, like this is a guy that was a 60 last season, and he's already down to being a 53. I can't even tell what's happening. Like, I don't even know why he is performing worse, which is what I find really concerning. Um, his stats are right along his career numbers, right? Like, this is kind of what he does. Maybe he's slightly worse, but I can't see it. I can't see what it is he's doing differently, which is really upsetting to me. Maybe that's good news. Maybe that means, oh, he'll fix it if we just give him more time, but that is a concern. None of my starters are pitching like an ace this year. Waters is still contributing in a positive way. It's not Waters' fault. The FIP is a lot lower. Are we being victimized by poor defense? We're making a bunch of errors. Who's making all of these errors? Don't tell me it's Halpern. It's not Halpern, it's Herberry. And Halpern. Yeah, Barry's struggling a little bit at shortstop. So basically this means anyone who relies on ground balls, like Jaden Charles, is struggling this year. Because the outfield defense isn't as good as it's typically been, because we don't have Josh Gibbs. That's unfortunate, but it's good to know that there is at least a proximate cause for both Charles and Waters struggling. Waters will be fine. Waters is going to be fine. Yeah, none of my starters are really covering themselves in glory over this first half of the season. Bullpen looks great, other than Bill Gerling and to a lesser extent Kevin Davis, but the defense is a problem. Um, it's kind of a problem that'll solve itself when Gibbs returns, but it's also something we need a longer term solution to. But we're just a better team when Barry's playing third and Gibbs is playing shortstop. Um, the lineup looks solid. This concerns me. Ito looking like he's out of sorts is not something I need to see at this team. Um, this is his second consecutive year now. He's just having terrible luck on batted balls, and while I get that, his slugging percentage has vanished. He's no longer hitting the ball hard. Um, Denny Rios is off a little bit from last season, but he's still being exceptionally productive. He just needs to be a little bit more productive, I guess. Kozic looks like a fucking champ again. Um, borderline MVP Kozic is the kind of guy that's going to make sure that we have a nice playoff run this year. Top 11 is doing great. Miney and Shiflett are tremendous 1-2. It's Ito hitting this poorly at third that I think is holding us back from getting to our true potential. It is increasingly looking like I will not be taking his last year. I know he's incredibly popular. I know he's a really well-respected player. I cannot pay him $40 million. I can't. Maybe that means Herb Berry plays second base. We try to track down a new third baseman. I have options. But those options do not include Ito as my second baseman next season. Which is a shame because I thought he had a chance to be like an MVP or a Hall of Fame caliber talent. He is not aging well. We'll see what happens. Maybe he'll turn it around in June and we can feel better about our chances, but I should probably bump him down the lineup a bit and maybe swap him and Kozic. Let's do that, at least against right-handed pitching, because Kozic is fucking obliterating baseballs at a high rate. I think letting him be the number 3 hitter makes a lot of sense. Losing Brian Williams for 3 days, that's no problem. Alright, friends and neighbors, let's go to the combine. Let's get some people combined up. I must have, like, the greatest scout ever, because I always have really high accuracy, so then I guess let's just grab people. I'm just going to let you do this just to build up relationships. That's all that matters at this point. There you go. Oh, I got an achievement. Nice. What is the achievement? I got 13 game run streak. That's pretty cool. Ito literally just got player of the month or player of the week, so clearly he's heating up a little bit. That's pretty exciting. I don't think it makes a difference. I truly don't think it makes a difference. As much as I love Ito, I don't think I can contribute that much money to him anymore. I think I just use this same group of guys. There we go. I may be being a little bit lazy, but I think it's possibly justified. The Twins are really good this year. I think whoever wins the AL Central is going to walk away with some pretty sweet stuff. Alright, guys. A bunch of people's contracts are running out. I think because we've got pretty good chemistry at this point, I think letting people stick around is fine. Wait, there's a new thing there. I can unretire them and like put them back in the majors. I see. Yeah, I think extensions for everybody is the rule of the day. I don't think I need to nickel and dime stuff here. 6 people want to be talked to, like John Kovalik. He's pretty good. Um, Kuros isn't that good as a manager. I think we probably let him walk. But we definitely keep Brian Coyle. I think we make an opportunity for somebody that's already in my system. Gerardo Olivares can be extended. Cameron Seitzer is solid. He's nothing special, but he's solid. And I'm willing to accept solid as my fate. That looks good. All right. We're going to keep this coaching staff together. I think we work well together. Gibbs coming back is massive. Dan Halpern, thank you for your service. Please return to the minor leagues. What do I do with Herb Berry? I'm not benching him. Berry is a good enough hitter. He's been a good enough player that he deserves to stay somewhere. I can't afford to bench any of Maini, Shiflett, or Berry. I'm not going to bench Ito, who's finally at least tepid, if not like white hot. Is there any position I could just open up? Holstrom Berry can't play the outfield, can he? Not well. Is Gibbs that much better than Berry? He's much better than Berry. Okay. Well, I guess putting Rios back in right field solves the problem. It's not my favorite solution, but I think it's fine. Then who DHs? Is it Ito? Is Ito still playing second base fairly well? He's actually playing second base fine. Is Miney handling third okay? Or is Miney screwing up third base? Miney is not great at third. Okay, that's my solution then. Maini, you're going to play DH. Barry shifts to third. And then Gibbs returns to shortstop. Let's rebuild the depth chart, maybe. That's fine. I could play Shiplet at shortstop. I'm just not that fucking stupid. Shiplet anywhere but first is a disaster waiting to happen. I truly believe that. It's Paul Skeens, but he's 34. Not interested. I don't need a mediocre reliever. I don't know what convinced you that I do. I don't know what it felt looking at my team saying, I know what you guys need. You need a terrible reliever. What if that didn't happen? What if you gave me something that's actually useful? How about that? Charles keeps slipping. This is really bad. Because I am married to Charles. Like, he's not going anywhere for at least the next 2 years. 3 years, rather. Yeah, this isn't good. I mean, he's still pitching okay. Like, it's not like he's a fifth starter now all of a sudden, but he's not an ace either. Okay, I want Morgan to get a chance to pitch. Where do you go? Is he hurt again? Am I blind? Is that what's... Oh, Jason Miller. His name is Miller, not Morgan. That's my bad. Um... Yeah, Brian Williams is giving up way too many home runs. And I want as many players to get a chance to pitch in the majors as are capable of doing it. Let's go ahead and grab Jason Miller. To make room for Miller, it's probably Kevin Davis, who is pitching by far the worst of any reliever right now. Williams, you're going to come into the bullpen here, and you're going to be a middle reliever. And then Jason Miller is going to get the fifth rotation spot. Remember when the rotation is almost entirely left-handed? Now we're clearly seeing an alteration in that. All right, guys, let's sim up to the draft. I wish we could go on like a medium run where the Twins start to slip. I would feel very good about that if we could make that happen. Waters tweaked his oblique, but he's ready to go. John Fleshman. That's a porn dealer name if I've ever heard it. Yes, I'm the man of flesh. Okay, buddy. I'm not going to call you that, but I appreciate it. All right, we need hitters. I think as an organization, if we take a look at our prospect pipeline, if we look at White Sox, we've got some low minors hitters. Edwin Hernandez is rapidly moving up our list here. We may need to find a place for him, too. Yeah, I would feel pretty good if we could get some outfielders in the system that are capable of hitting. Is Edwin Hernandez genuinely that ready for the major leagues? I'm not that convinced. He's only 21. I don't feel the need to rush him right now, but I do like what he's accomplishing. Let's just let him keep working on it. Let's draft. Best overall offensive prospect. We've got several choices here. James Chow is not that choice. I like him a lot. I think he's got some nice abilities, but he's a shortstop that can't shortstop. That doesn't interest me. Scott Martinson is yet another first baseman. I don't need another one of those. Dusty Ford is a pretty well-rounded hitter that doesn't have a position. Mike Dewey's is a good first baseman. I don't need a slap-hitting outfielder. What about Brady Olver? Now, Brady here is exactly the kind of player that I think the organization needs. A left-handed hitting outfielder is something we desperately need one of. I don't like drafting for need, but I think Olver is genuinely a good choice, and I think we go ahead and we take him. with the eye that he might have a very short time in the major leagues. Very short indeed. Is it Sleeve McDaniel? Eh. Raul Cruz. I like the flexibility and I like the power, so I think Cruz is somebody worth taking, even if he doesn't have an obvious position. I think he is good enough. All right. Jeremiah Brown. Brown is just a good all-around hitter. I think that's got a lot of value for me. I could double up on outfielders with Castile. That's also very possible. Dallas Crosby's also a good fit. Let's get Clint here. Oh, you want a lot of money. That is problematic. How much money do we even have for this shit? My average is $17 million. Okay. Then maybe we can take Mr. Castile here. Sure. Alright. Now I think we can start trying to potentially add some pitching in. We like Noah Box. Do we actually like Noah Box that well? A junk balling lefty isn't the end of the world, and he's got the chance to be a much less junk bally type. What about Matt Beattie instead? I like Matt Beattie a lot. He's already fairly advanced for being 18. He's already a 30. He's got a nice mix of pitches here. He's got some good control, some good raw numbers here. Velocity isn't over the top, but it's decent, and he's a really hard worker. I think Beattie is the choice here. I know he's slightly more expensive. I understand that, but I think it's worth it. No Noah Box for us, I guess. I'm gonna do something I don't normally do. I'm going to look for the best defensive shortstop we can get our hands on. I need an heir apparent to Gibbs, very desperately. Chris Cunningham could be that kid. He's a decent hitter. He's got, I mean, he's more of a third baseman, really, but Javi Martinez. Gabriel Randolph isn't terrible, but I guess I like Brian Sears, but he's not actually a shortstop. He's just a well-rounded prospect. There's nothing wrong with that, but I was kind of hoping for somebody that's, you know, real good. Customize. Fielding potential at shortstop is at least 50. Will Yescott offers a lot of pure upside, but he's also extremely far from the major leagues. Sears does have this going for him, his makeup. He's a competent infielder with okay offensive skills. Cunningham has a little bit better physical gifts, but he's also a bit dumb. And his bat's not terribly exciting. But maybe that's okay. Maybe I just need a worthy shortstop in the long term. Or in the short term, even if it means I don't get the best shortstop in the long term. I think we take Chris Cunningham. He's a massive overdraft. I understand that, but it's a position we desperately need to fill. and won't be easy to fill in free agency. Certainly players like that exist, right? Like there's definitely possibility there, but it's not easy to find players with that level of skill. We like Sean Smith. Why don't we like Paul Rowland? Because Paul Rowland isn't very interesting. I do like Drew Lynn. I think he'll be highly successful in the major leagues, and I think that's more important to me than the specific positions. I think we draft him. But I do need to pay more attention to pitching. I think I'm getting too wrapped up in getting the best hitters at every turn, and I need pitching. Although we could get Willie Escott. I do like Willie quite a lot. If he got slightly better, I think he'd be even better. Let's get the Escott. Let's go to Escott Center. Dave Hayek. I'm not opposed to Mr. Oh, we like Mike Faulkner. Why do we like Mike Faulkner? He's okay. My my scouting director loves himself a soft tossing lefty. I mean, I like him too. And he does have a ton of good pitches, good control, nice stamina. I think he's a good fit. We can take Mike Faulkner, sure. I'm okay with that. We're going to take Chris Cowan. Cowan is quite down the line here. Josh Glass is pretty terrible. I could take Dave Hayek. He's not the most dynamic starting pitcher, but he's pretty smart. So I think we take Mr. Hayek here. Francisco Vences is not a catcher, but we do like some 46s here. You like Chris Cowan. What is it about Chris Cowan? Is he another junk balling lefty? Bro, I know you've got a type. You don't have to only recommend those players. Like, there are other Major League Baseball players who are perfectly capable of being good dudes. Just gotta meet me halfway, bro. Frank Marcus is not that. You know what, Dave Orabal? I will take you. You're a very risky prospect, but I think there's nothing wrong with getting a risky prospect. Randy Fuller. Yeah, Fuller's okay. Sure. Man, we really all of a sudden want Francisco Vences. I think he's got a good enough all-around bat that we can find a spot for him, even if he turns out not to be a catcher, so we can try that out. Alright, guys, let's go to the sortable list. Randolph is dumb. Give me Art Isbell. I think that's a reasonable choice at this point in the draft. Hey, I'll take Andy Schultz too. Why not? Alright, let's clear the filter and let's try to get ourselves a real nice power hitter. Somebody who can just do a Kleber in. All positions, please. Hey, it's Danny Cadena. Beautiful. We have 4 more picks to make here. Let's grab Zapata. Let's grab Pena. Let's switch to pitching, and let's look for some raw stuff that we can get excited about. Fernando DeMarcos is kind of doomed. Like, he throws hard, and he works hard, and he's got some okay pitches, but his control is so terrible he may never make the major leagues. I guess when you're in the 18th round, I guess it's fine to take a bit of a gamble. Haven't we got really good movement potential? Not really. Let's get Al Garza. He seems okay. And then we'll take Brock Hodson if he's still around. A sidearmer that throws that hard is pretty interesting. He has got all kinds of potential. He just needs to figure out how to throw strikes. For a 20th round draft pick, though, I think that's fine. Negotiato. This is kind of an expensive draft class, but I think we got some really good players here. I think we've made a conscious effort to try to fix our defense problem and with some quality shortstops. And I think we've got some upside here. Because they're picking so in the draft, it's hard to find like the top tier upside. But Brady Oliver most definitely is a majorly capable hitter. And not a complete embarrassment in the outfield. And he's got some speed too. So he's got a number of tools to make him pretty exciting. He should also have a very quick path to the major leagues, which is always a useful thing. Raul Cruz is not a shortstop, but he is a good overall hitter, which is pretty exciting here. So it's a thin class on pitching, but I feel like it's maybe okay. Just this once to focus a little bit more on pitching, or on hitting rather. We didn't look at the All-Star game rosters. Shame on me. Enrique Castillo made it despite being a terrible pitcher. That's fun. Jay Horner made it. Maini made it. Rios made it. Kozic made it. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4 All-Stars, 5 All-Stars, one of whom is pretty sus. Kozic is really good this year. I'm excited about that. Nobody has outperformed his ratings consistently for us more than Kozic, which I hugely appreciate. Finding unexpected value is how you run a team successfully. It's a crucial part to being a successful franchise. Isn't always hitting on the one-of-ones, isn't always hitting on the big free agent. It's taking players that other people wouldn't think very much of and making them top quality players. I feel like letting Ito walk in free agency is probably fine. I feel like trading him is probably not fine. Not unless we got like a mega haul, which I don't think is very likely. Ben Brantingham is the poop. I don't need Anthony Molina in every league, so I will tell you no. I mean, we could at least try to trade Ito, right? I guess there's no harm in asking the question. If I ask for a package of prospects, what could Ito bring in? I'm getting okay deals, but I don't think they're good enough. I'd rather let him walk in free agency because we need him for our postseason run. So I think it's still sensible to invest there. Hey, Luke Geske got traded. He's having a good year with the Cubs. I wish we'd kept him. Oh well. All right. A really good starting pitcher, I think, would go a very, very long way to taking this team from good to dominant. I don't know that such a pitcher is on the market, but that's what I'm going to target here during the deadline. If I could get a top quality starting pitcher, I think we've got a decent chance. A trade proposal. Andy Rojas is terrible. I don't know what possessed you to think that's something I wanted, but I don't. Kwang Sam Kim, not for the amount of money he's making. That's not going to happen. John Cruz is interesting. John Cruz is very interesting, but I don't really want to break that up yet. Are there no good starting pitchers? There might just be none on the market. Rob Mackey. That's pretty good. I could get interested in him, except he's going to be expensive to keep. There are literally zero good starting pitchers on this market. That's really unfortunate. There aren't needle movers, which is the problem, right? That is the concern, is that we don't have any needle movers. I think I maybe just don't make any trades then. I know it's boring to not make any trades, but it's the right thing to do if there's nothing that moves the needle. Kendry Rojas. He sucks. I don't want Kendry Rojas. Stop asking. I could try making my own deal. Let me look at pitchers. 50 overall. Starter. Who's got extra pitchers that might be willing to give me one? What about Mike Johnson? What would that cost me? Too much. Okay, well, fine. The problem is if you have young starting pitchers, you're not going to give them up. I'd happily take Alvaro Delgado off your hands. What a bargain. Okay. Well, I guess that's fair. If I offered you Edwin Hernandez, I literally can't afford you. What if I had you eat 25% of his salary? Okay. Yeah, that's just an extreme seller's market. Like getting a great starting pitcher is something that you're going to want to hold on to. Even if I am doing them a favor, like taking money off their hands, it's not going to be enough. Jacob Frazier would be, and Jacob Frazier's not so good. Ernie Newkirk would be pretty amazing, but I don't think that's going to happen either. I can ask, but you're just going to laugh in my face, which justifiably you should. Yeah. Nothing here is happening. Tony Gutierrez might, but again, the ad's been pretty consistent. They just don't even entertain any kind of offer for him. I could possibly get Mitch Bratt, but I don't want to be stuck with that contract is the problem. Yeah, I think we just don't make any trades. We're not getting what I want, which is a starting pitcher. Yeah. That's fine. You would give me Javier Garcia, who sucks. I I don't understand the AI logic sometimes. I truly don't understand it. I don't understand what like, oh yes, here's the terrible reliever. Give me a good prospect for them. The answer is no. Javier Garcia has nothing to offer anybody. I'm certainly not going to give you somebody who could potentially play on this roster like Jay Brown for that. I will trade Jay Brown if I can get a starting pitcher. Like a good starting pitcher. John Frozone is definitely a possibility. Wait a minute. No, you're too far away from the majors. Alex Pulido is a really good pitcher. Like, he's really good. That is a much better bargain. No, Pulido, you're gonna start, my dude. And you're 25 already, which is pretty exciting. Does anybody want Brian Williams? I'm getting offers. They're not good offers, but I'm getting offers. Pauline Cordero. Meh. Feh. I have 2 minutes to make a deal. I might just trade Danny Renteria. This is more about getting Williams' contract off the books than it is anything else. This then opens up a roster spot for Pulido. And Mr. Pulido here, I'm going to let you pitch in the majors. I'm going to let you be a long reliever, emergency starter. All right. That helps free up some salary, which is pretty exciting. Is there anything else I want to try to get? I didn't get what I wanted, which I didn't get a starter that's good right now. Maybe we just have to accept Waters, Charles, and Miller, or Jones, or Vantine. Maybe that's the path forward. I'm not going to trade Ito. I'm going to keep him. I'm going to opt out of his contract at the end of the year. I'm going to give him a qualifying offer. That's what's going to happen there. All right, guys, let us end the deadline day. I think we got what we needed. Oh, I did get a deal. It's fucking Andrew Lara again. Lara's not terrible. He's just not very good. I think I pass on this. Like, I genuinely don't think it helps the team at all. I think this is the equivalent of doing nothing. Brian Williams, you're now a former Sock. Jay Brown, I think you also qualify as a former Sock. Losing Brown stinks a little bit, but I really needed a good pitching prospect, and Pulido is that. So I think it was smart. I think that was a good decision. I mean, obviously I made it, so I'm going to claim it was a good decision. But wait, where did the calendar go? Oh, the calendar distribution, you're in deadline mode. That makes sense. That's reasonable. I'm reasonably happy with that deadline. I don't think we made too many big moves, but clearing Brian Williams' salary is not a small move. Not at all. Jason Miller's getting better. Waters is getting worse. Hernandez is getting slightly better. Gummy is getting better, which is exciting. Okay. Just anything more than emergency call or maybe an occasional spot starter. Okay. I trust you. I don't think I need to change here. Not really. I think the lineup is fine. I think the rotation is what it is. And I'm hoping that once the lights are bright, that they can turn it up a notch. Because we could definitely use some nice production if it was available to me. We need to put together a nice winning streak here. I want to get us some breathing room so that we have a better chance of winning a bye. I think that's going to be very useful to us if we can manage that. Especially when Josh Gibbs gets hurt again. What the fuck this year, dude? I mean, Halpern's at least a 55 at shortstop. That's better than Barry, I think. I think Barry's a 50. No, he's a 55 too. Yeah, fine. Barry at short, Maini at third. And then I've got DH open up for Rios. Wait, Chris Hernandez. Where the hell did you come from? Yeah, Holstrom is struggling. We could try Hernandez. I should have traded Ransom. He's actually declining now. Well, we can use Chris Hernandez. We can try that out. Oh, I need to send somebody down. I see. Holstrom is still being very useful because he's a good base runner and he's a good defender. Oh, because they instantly called up Halpern. So they're expecting me to find a spot for Halpern. Halpern could play third. If we really don't want to play what's-his-face there. Gamble, I would love to keep you around if you're okay with that. You want $10 million? Not gonna happen, buddy. I should have checked that first. That was very stupid on my part. Very foolish. Who goes down for him? Or do we just try to make it work with who we've already got, like make Halpern to the DH? I'm not opposed to letting Halpern. Oh no, we need an outfielder. So we do send down Halpern and we do call up another. Oh, we do call up Hernandez. There we go. Hernandez, you're gonna play right field against lefties. Kubek, I think you've earned a regular opportunity against left-handed pitching. I think you have done. So we're gonna let you do it. Fucking Gibbs needs to stop getting hurt. This is getting very annoying to me. I could call Halpern back up, actually. We could let him play in the majors for the last month of the season. That's reasonable. That is an acceptable idea. Well, have I clinched a division? Or have I clinched a playoff spot? I think I've just clinched a playoff spot. Polito's getting better. Crank is getting slightly better. Hernandez came out of nowhere, which is exciting. Nick Gumini just collapsed as a starting pitching prospect. That's unfortunate. That's really sad, actually. Alright, I need to call up two players. One of them is definitely Halpern. The other one might be Angel Reyes. He's still a development risk, so I don't want to rush him if he's not ready for the majors yet. We could try Gummy Annie, I suppose. Doesn't really have anything to offer right now, though. Orozco? Not so much. Maybe it is Reyes. Maybe it's John Rodriguez, actually. Maybe having a guy like this is fine. We can try it out. Nice little flamethrower in the back of the bullpen. Just let him avoid high leverage. For now. Lineup, let's go ahead and rebuild the depth chart now that we have Halpern back. I am not playing Halpern as shortstop over Barry. Barry's a better shortstop than he is. He just is. You want to play Holstrom every few games in right field? I don't have a problem with that. But trying to that Barry can't hit left-handed, right-handed pitching at all? That's not true. He is having a bit of a cold streak, but it doesn't mean he can't hit. He's got good range. He does make errors, but I'm okay with that. I would prefer Gibbs naturally, but if I can't have Gibbs, then we adjust, as you always do. 2 weeks for Waters is not enough for me to put him on the IL. I'm going to hope that he can be available for the postseason because I think we need it. Oh, we need to beat Seattle. Good job, team. Did I get... This is important. Did I get... I did not. I did not get a first-round bye. That's really stinky. Because Waters is not ready to pitch. Okay. Alright. Are we leaving anyone off the postseason roster? We sure aren't. It's going to be these guys. So it's going to be... So for the first round, Waters is out of the rotation. I think it's going to be Charles, Jones, and Vantine. With Miller as a long reliever. If we need one. And 3-man rotation. Charles is a bit sleepy. Pulido got roughed up. I think you actually chased Charles pretty... Oh, Charles never even pitched. You decided to go with an opener without my express permission. I don't approve of that. We get Gibbs back, which is good. Like, I can't use him yet because the series is in the middle of it, but... Hey, Jaden Charles had a good game. Nice. Alright, I'm gonna cover my eyes. I find it helps my team perform better from not looking at them. Damn it. Yeah, hey, look, where did we fuck up? Our pitching completely disintegrated, which is exactly what I thought would happen. This is a real bummer. I thought we had a chance to have a decent playoff run. We got absolutely fucking hosed by the Astros somehow lucking into the second bye. Like, I don't know what... I think a tiebreaker is head-to-head at that point. So because I lost one game to the Astros, I got screwed out of that spot. That makes me very unhappy. I think this team had some potential, but our pitching didn't accomplish anything. Like, Jaden Charles was the only good pitcher that we had. Jaden Charles was there when we needed him. But the rest of the team was not. which is really unfortunate. And that really, really, really sucks because I don't know how to fix this. I don't know how we get the kind of starting pitching we need to actually be capable of doing damage in the postseason. Maybe it's just a question of letting the pitchers we've already got get more experience. But I also don't think it's that. I think it's just going to be we have to find it somewhere. We have to get better pitching somewhere. Better starting. I think the bullpen is fine. I think the bullpen is in good shape. I think the rotation is what needs the help. Maybe I should have started Schultz in the postseason. He does have a pretty decent postseason record. Maybe that was a mistake that I made. Waters getting hurt when he got hurt fucking sucked. Because I genuinely think that Waters had a chance to be an impact player in the postseason, and he never even got to play. Which is a bummer. Astros, you beat me one fucking game, and that gave you the World Series. Unreal. Deeply annoyed. Well, so that happened. I'm so proud of the team. I think we did very, very well. I think 94 wins is a good number of wins. We need to advance, I think, one day, maybe. Oh, the plus hasn't officially ended yet. I think we need to advance one day. And then it should trigger the decision that we need to make, which is where we tell Ito that his services are no longer required for the amount of money that he wants. I can't play a solid starter MVP money. I cannot do that. I am not capable of doing that. My scouting director retired. That's rude. I got a 3-year deal. Nice. Normally I don't do this stuff in the off season, but I really want to make sure we've got a great scouting director. So let's get one. We want somebody ideally that is personable. I don't really care that much. If I can get an amazing scouting director who's a bit of an asshole, that's fine with me. Yeah, Ryan Rayburn would be absolutely perfect. He's also neutral, which is pretty solid. I think he's exactly what we're looking for. Ryan Rayburn, welcome to the Chicago White Sox. We have to let Ito go. As much as it sucks, we have to do it. We have no financial flexibility as long as Ito is on the roster. And while he's been a good player, he's been a solid player, he is enormously overpaid. So we're going to void his contract here. And we're going to go ahead and we're definitely going to give him the qualifying offer. But I'm going to at least talk to you and see what it would take. Yeah, you want a raise, essentially, which is what I thought you would say. I can't afford it. It is not something that I'm willing to afford. I guess I could put it that way. So you're going to have some decisions to make next season. Let's look at the offense. Who were our big contributors? I had no idea Garrett Kozic had this in him. But I am so happy that he does. He easily put in the very best year of his career. And he's just awesome. We are incredibly fortunate to have gotten this level of value out of a player that makes very little money. Let's not sleep on Bill Shiflett. I needed a great on-base guy that could also drive in runs, and we've got that. I never expected 34 home runs from him, but I'm absolutely going to take it. Shiflett is a really nice player. Miami took a step forward this year. Not so much with the bat, because the bat's about the same. I guess it's actually not quite the same. He had a little bit more power this year, which is nice. That's really the only difference between this year and last year. Other than that, his numbers are very similar, but he had a little bit more pop. Was Herb Berry's rookie season successful? I'd say so. there is more to this story. There is absolutely a world in which Herb Berry is one of the best second basemen in the league next year. He just needs to kick his bat up a slight bit, but he is very close. He is close to being an all-time excellent player. Somebody that I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh wow, Ito was so terrible. Fuck that guy. But I think we can ease ourselves into the post Ito era thanks to the skill of Barry. Um, Danny Rios turned another great season. If he can keep doing this shit where he's hitting, 270 with excellent power, he's going to be a White Sox as long as he wants to be. Bautista had a very nice bounce back year. Mostly driven by his glove and his base running. That's what he is at this point. He's a fringy bat that might hit the occasional home run, but his value is in playing defense and stealing bases, and those will both get worse as he gets older. So, pretty much everyone was a big contributor. Sean Gamble, if he didn't want $10 million, I would sign him right now. $8.5 million for a guy that's essentially always going to be a backup is probably not a smart expenditure, but he does offer elite leadership. That feels like such an overpay, right? Like, I can't pay that guy that much just because he's a captain, can I? Maybe I have to. You know what, Gamble? This is probably not smart. This is probably a stupid decision, but can I get a team option here too? Let's try this out. Yeah. I'm overpaying him, but it's not egregious, and he might have a bigger role in the team this year, so I'm fine with that. I think as much as I love Noah Schultz, I think we have to let him go at this point. He clearly still thinks he can be a starter. I don't agree, but I'm not going to stand in the way of his dreams. Schultz was never the best pitcher in the league, but he was always a very good one. And so this is his last appearance as a Chicago White Sox. I don't begrudge him his success. Not even a little bit. Jesse Huster, let's give you a minor league extension real quick. We'll talk about the rest of the stuff next episode, but I wanted to quickly take care of what the big decision was, which is going to be Ito. Will we miss Ito when he's gone? Probably. But I won't miss his money. He is being paid MVP level money to be an all-star caliber player some years. I think there's no argument that he was the heart and soul of the White Sox. I think there's no argument that if he can produce another 5 to 10 years of this caliber, he'll go into the Hall of Fame, probably as a White Sox. But I also think we're moving on from him at the right time. If he was willing to take any kind of legitimate pay cut, I would probably re-sign him, but he isn't. He wants to get paid what he thinks he is worth, and I don't begrudge him that, but he won't be getting that money from us. So that's something we're going to have to focus on next season, is obviously the best version of this White Sox team is Barry at second, maybe Maini at third. Maybe he's fine at third. Maybe Halpern at third. Where's Halpern? Is he in the Arizona Fall League? Maybe he went to the Arizona Fall League this year. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I bet he did, because there's no other reason. Otherwise, there's no reason he wouldn't be on the roster. Probably want to give Danny Rios a raise at some point soon. Maybe. Where is Halpern? Jim Halpern, where did you go? I know that's not his name. You're probably with the AFL, right? Yeah, you are. Good for you, man. I appreciate that you're taking the extra effort to try to show that you are going to get a chance in the majors. There's very much a world where Dan Halpern plays third base for us next year. That world is very much a possibility. It could also be Hu Sing. I think could be an okay third baseman. I've got choices at third. In a way that I didn't have choices at shortstop. Jason Ransom has to go. That's going to be the new scouting director's number one job, is to evaluate him properly and then probably trade him. But we've got some high caliber players in the high minors that I think are going to get some opportunities next year. Cool. Josh Morgan sucks now? What? No, I see. Josh Morgan is terrible. Jason Miller is good. I don't know why I have two players that all have the exact same name, but it's a little disappointing. Anyways, I'm proud of these guys. I think our season ended way too early, and I'm hopeful that the market will offer us some possible answer to that question. Some player that can step up and give us a rotation anchor to take the pressure off of Jade Charles, give Mr. Pulido here a chance, potentially. We'll see what happens, guys. Until then, though, this has been UpGuardian. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I bid you good day.